Well, as we know, our good friend Bob just got in a huge accident. He just fell off of a ladder. He had a great question for me. I thought we'd bring him out and he could ask us that question.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to ask you that question again? Oh, we're on camera. What am I, some kind of sideshow? I literally just fell off of a ladder. Can't even give me a few days to rest here. But so my question was, you had said something like I can have a 1099 independent contractor or something like that you'd recommend for me to get while I'm laid up. Tell me a little bit about how that works, or I guess I'm a sideshow, so tell the audience how that works.
Well, yeah, Bob, so what I think would be a great opportunity for you would be to set up some 1099 independent contractors. And this is what I did when I first started out. That was super helpful. This is if you're not quite ready to make the full leap to W-2 employees and you just want to do 1099 independent contractors for a little while. There's nothing wrong with that, but as a 1099 contractor, there's a very fine line between what you can make a 1099 independent contractor do and what you can't make them do. Because at some point, you start treating them like an employee. And if you're in a state like California, you might get in some big tax trouble if you're treating a 1099 independent contractor like a W-2 employee. So here's what I would do. If you got leads coming in, if you got calls coming in, whether it's from your Google advertising or Google My Business, whatever it is, I would recommend for you to reach out to other handyman and other contractors in your area and set up an agreement with them. Basically say, hey, would you mind, I just hurt myself. I literally just fell off of a ladder. Would you mind if I sent you work for like the next month or two and we can set up some sort of operating agreement? Now, a typical operating agreement could be really anything, right? It could be 60-40, talking about percentage of gross profit or labor from the job. And this really depends on how the person wants to interact. As an independent contractor, they have a lot of power in discussing what they want to get paid for that particular job. So you might send them a job. They may be willing to give you 60% of the labor and they only take 40%. Well, they may only want to give you 20% of the labor and they take the rest. So it's really up to them, but doing it that way, setting up independent contractors will be super helpful, especially Bob, while you're ill, while you're sitting back laid up in the bed and can't work anyways, you might as well be making some money so that you can start taking care of your family a little bit. So that would be my recommendation for you, Bob.
Okay. And then you also said something about some kind of training that I can get through the Handyman Academy or something like that so that I can learn how to make my business a little bit better. So if something like this happens again and I'm not out a whole bunch of money, tell me about that.
Yeah, Bob, that's another really good point. Bob, another thing I would recommend, and you said it yourself, is while you're down and out, you might as well sign up for the Handyman Academy. Or at least take the Handyman Clarity Bundle, sign up for that, because you might as well be learning something while you're sitting there doing nothing. So you can sign up for the Handyman Academy. You can start plugging yourself into different courses, whether that be about marketing, how to get more leads in, about how to price jobs, how to up your game as a handyman, and ultimately learn how to hire employees so that this business can run without you. So Bob, if you ever fall off of a ladder again, you'd be in a lot better position than you are now. So that would be my recommendation for you. Wait, one thing before you go, Bob, I want to let you know about some of the intricacies of a 1099 independent contractor as opposed to a W-2 employee. So these are things that I kind of learned is that if you have a 1099 independent contractor, you cannot make them wear your t-shirt, you cannot make them wear your hat, you cannot make them wear a decaled vehicle, or you cannot make them drive a decaled vehicle, you can't make them show up at a certain place at a certain time. There's a lot of things that you cannot do with a 1099 independent contractor that you can do with the W-2. So I just want to make sure that you are in the legal ramifications of what you're dealing with and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Is make sure that you treat a 1099 independent contractor like a 1099 independent contractor. They technically have to have their own business. They have to be bringing in a certain percentage of their own work from their own sources. So you can't be providing them with 100% of their work. Because if you're providing them with 100% of their work, they're pretty much a W-2 employee, and the state that you live in is going to get a little upset because they're not receiving FICA tax, unemployment tax, things like that. At the end of the day, it all comes down to money. So make sure you do the right thing, you be safe, Bob, and learn how to climb a ladder better next time, Bob.